Welcome to another edition of the Contributor Technical Discussions. Today we have 3 demos. So we have Birdie with 2 demos, followed by one of the studio contributors, Lucas. So Birdie, Boards 2 Mobile, first taste. Take it away.
Thank you, Nemanja. Okay, all right. This is our first presentation for Boards 2 app, mobile app. It's basically a front end for this work that Geronimo made on Boards 2 project. So if you don't know Boards 2, I suggest you to take a look on this code and also explore those actions. So basically we are interacting with those methods and bringing to the life, and that becomes an app, mobile app. So we are also running GNOkey Mobile, another app that's close to a crypto wallet, but with other features. So here I use it. I already have a account that's the same account we have on chain. So I imported it from a seed phrase, and you can import it from the developer options. From here, we just hide this option because we don't want to expose it for now. We can revisit this feature later, but for now it's kind of hide it here, and it should have some coins. So pretty sure it have, and I will use it to log in on Boards 2. So for Boards 2, I will start it here on another console. It's important to run on the second 8082 port. 8081 is allocated to GNOkey Mobile. And there we go. Okay, Boards 2. And Boards 2, we'll plan to have 2 methods to sign in. One using GNOkey and another one from guest. We'll create a local and temporary account. And the first one is using GNOkey. So it will show you the keys you already have registered on the chain, in this case, Birdie chain. We are using Birdie chain instead of Trust9, or because we need some methods that it's not merged yet on Boards 2 application on Realm. So I use this account to sign in, and it's already loading all the boards we have here. It's the same boards. And it's also checking if my account have the permission to create boards. You have actions to also do this. Is member. It's a lot of cool methods here that you can check if you can or not create account boards. And also display, well, if you have a permission, of course, that you can create a new board here. And for threads, the same. Inside each board, you have threads. And also, if you have permission, you can create threads, or you can reply to threads. And yeah, that's it. And also, we want to suggest, or we are trying to convince Geronimus to accept our nodes method, our thumbs up way to agree to something. And what else? I think that's it. A short demo, and everything you can find on this branch here inside Gnoverse Boards 2 Mobile project. As soon as possible, it will be able on TestFly, and we'll share the links with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? I know that Geronimo is considering the upvote or the Gnod functionality.
He sent a thumbs up, so we take it as a yes, inked in blood. So Geronimo just send us that.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the thing is, first of all, the version that is in the canonical, let's say in the canonical URL, is not the very latest. There is another version deployed, but it should work anyways. It didn't change so much. And yes, the idea was to actually add support for up and down voting. But I don't know, how does the Gnod works actually? Maybe that could be interesting to know. Or what's the expected behavior?
I can answer that. We didn't implement it. We're just suggesting the fun name. You know, you could call it upvote or downvote, but you know, some people call it likes or thumbs up, or we're just just a marketing thing, right? We just think it's funny to call it a Gnod. That's all. We know that you're going to implement it. Some sort of you know, up-down rating.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're waiting for you to get all those PRs merged, and then so that and to add the extra API functions that we need just to fetch boards and threads. We already talked to you about that. Right now, that's why we're running on our testnet, because we have that hacked in right now.
So yeah, so the idea, yeah, I have to implement this API too. The idea is to move it to a separate repo. I don't know if that's definite or not, but it might land in Gnover's board.
All right.
So we can be more agile with the PRs.
Yes.
And that's a conversation that we need to finish. So I'll take that up offline. All right, moving on to the second Birdie demo, and that's help screen for non-crossing queries.
Yeah, this came out of a conversation we had on the contributor call a while ago. We were talking about how we had updated this endpoint, VMQDoc, where it returns lots of useful information, parameters, parameter types, as well as whether or not the function is crossing, which nowadays, this was even before you could tell that it was crossing because of a, in fact, I should update the screenshot because we have the realm thing. But anyways, now that we can get a lot more information, we had a call and there were some really good suggestions, mainly about adding the idea that if it's not a crossing function, if it doesn't need to be signed, and you can just get the answer from QEval, it would be cool if the web page could do that. So that's what this PR has become that. And I explained it here. Let me just give a quick demo so you get a flavor. I'm running it locally, of course. We have as we all know, you have a view in Gnoweb here, and you can click actions to get access to all the functions. And some of them are crossing. Like well, most of them are not. Yeah, some of them are crossing like this, and this is what we always had. You know, this is the command that you can paste into the command line, but some of them are just queries, like resolve name. And so I set it up where instead of showing the Gnoki transaction command, we have a Gnoki query. And in this case, I'll type test1. And we get two things here. We get this, which you can copy paste to the command line if you want. And this is what we've all been doing for a while. And that does QEval, and you give it the function to run, and you get some result. But now you also get the same exact result here, and it's live. Test 2 is nil, test 1 isn't. Yeah, so it's live. So how does it work? And so I want to show this. I want to get feedback from everybody about the user interface, and I just want to get a sanity check on the approach. And the approach is that I added a new endpoint. So it's always been the case that Gnoweb has these magical endpoints, like there is a status.json, right? And there's a couple other endpoints like liveness, things like this. So I added an endpoint for a QEval, and it has one parameter, which is data, which is exactly the same thing that we give here, right? So that same information, of course, it has to be URL encoded, but if you execute that, well, it's not a good live demo, is it? Let me do it like this. Let me go back here, and well, if it isn't a total waste of time, let me just do this. Let me grab this. Let me online URI encoder, and let me just encode it. This is what the code is doing behind the scenes. Normally, nobody needs to call this endpoint, but it's fun to know that it's here. So if you give it this as the data, and you run it. Oh, great. Live demo, right?
Wouldn't be a live demo without a failure.
Right. I think, I should have gotten rid of the backslashes. The backslashes are for the Unix command line. There we go. So, of course, now that we have this little endpoint, what it means is, behind the scenes, there was already JavaScript code, which was, doing this magic, right? So when you type things, it fills this in. It also updates the links and everything. So I just hijacked that same thing, and it knows that it's a query, and so it does the same thing, and then runs uses fetch to execute this thing and to get the answer and just print it out. And so to move forward, we would have to have general agreement that it's okay to add this endpoint. This is how I implemented it. So
I was just curious, like, would you make the endpoint instead of calling like the query endpoint directly on the RPC?
Because that would be we thought about that. We thought of actually importing, what is it, like a Gno.js client? That's what it does, right? And it creates a WebSocket connection, and it actually creates a WebSocket connection to an arbitrary endpoint. And this way, all these changes are fairly lightweight. We don't need to create a WebSocket connection, and we just fetch is, and I think maybe it's good for security because fetch interacts with the node which is running the website. So whereas with Gno.js client, that's for connecting to some random node on the internet, which could be a problem. So yeah, another question is fetch the right thing to do? But you can see all we do is it's pretty simple, right? We
Yeah.
grab the args and we call fetch, and we just stuff the result into the HTML target.
I mean, you can actually call the RPC even without WebSockets. You can call it with just an HTTP query. So you could make it without having to import the whole JS client, especially if you don't need signing and all that shit. So it could potentially work. I don't know.
Maybe you and I can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
If because this actually is also a a review team
Yeah.
PR that's open. So you're saying there's a way to query the RPC. Well, this query the RPC without having to import a bunch of helper libraries.
Yeah, but yeah, I think there's a way to there's a way to do that. I don't know whether like which can be made minimalist, like just a few dozen lines of JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Alexi probably knows better. Like if it's good to stick it in there, to have it connect to. Like if it's good to stick it in the backend as an API call, or to connect it to the backend or to the RPC directly, or to not have it at all.
Yeah, that would be nice, because then we wouldn't need this basically hack that I did. This where is it? It's no, where is it? It's so simple that I don't even see it. No, that's the JavaScript. Yeah, it's in here. So this is the handler for the QEval endpoint. It's pretty straightforward, but it would be nice not to have this. And maybe this would be a possible. It does expose this, and it does take resources to run this, and so maybe we don't want this exposed. So it would be nice to do the RPC directly. Great. That's kind of feedback I wanted. Just a little detail, right? For these, it runs the query when it gets a change, but there's some functions which don't have any arguments. So it just does the query when the page loads. So so that's why these have no arguments, and so that's why they're here. Another possibility is there's with this approach, with the make TX call, it's using these little arg things, and whether this is a string or whether it's a number, Gnocchi doesn't care, right? But when you're doing a QEval, it has to be the right type, right? If you just try to do test1, it's gonna choke, all right? Because it has to look it has to be the right thing that when you evaluate it as Go code, it works. So now it is the case that up here we see the type, right? So we thought for a minute maybe we'd make this super fancy, like if it knows that it's a string, then it would automatically put it in quotes or something. But of course, the problem is there's other things that are string-like an address, right? Then we'd end up maybe having a list of types that are known to need quotes. But I don't know whether it would make things more or less confusing for the end user.
Yeah, no, that's there can be an arbitrary, like you need to resolve that with actually the VM to understand whether the underlying type is a string.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, best not to special case it. With the list, maybe just knowing that string can be string needs the quotes could work now, and then we extend it to the other types at another time.
Okay, fine. That sounds good. So that's where this is. We have something related, which is maybe I can switch. Well, let me see. Let me switch gears here and ask a related question, which is imagine that you are on your browser running this in the browser. And so you have, where I want to go here. So let's suppose you want to execute some function that is a transaction. And so we would like to integrate this with Gnocchi Mobile, possibly. And it's already been set up so that there's this thing called execute, right? So if I say my username is test user 1111, if I click execute, it already does this with the idea that on your mobile, or actually, I think Adena intercepts this inside the browser and in the extension. The idea is something would intercept this. But we also want to just maybe in the browser allow them just to copy this thing and then go into some screen in Gnocchi Mobile and paste it and possibly execute it. The thing that I want to point out is we could have used this, or the problem with the link is that if you copy the link, then the problem is, I think we know this, the link doesn't get the updated. I actually entered something for the username. It doesn't get updated. So that's no good unless we make link actually include these, which maybe would be cool. Execute in general just is pretty funky. It somehow, this is what link sees, and somehow this is magically put in here. And we were just staring at this. This says our Gnoland users, Gno.land, our Gnoland users v1. Does anybody know, is this intentional, or is there some reason why this looks so funky?
Actually, like that, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was made on purpose, especially because we had a lot of back and forth with that.
Yeah.
I need to check again.
Okay. And there's another reason, which is, I don't know why it wasn't showing me that. Well, it looks like HTTPS. No, Gnoland's down. I was going to use that as a demo. Let's go to Gnoweb. Oh, here it is. It finally showed up. I had another subtlety, which is, I think it's here. If you want to register, then there's this neat function where in the case that it wants the send field to be filled in, you click this. And but of course, the send is not in execute, and it's not in the link. So that's another reason why maybe we just want to stick with this. We want to stick with having them copy the command and then paste it somewhere else. So we're going to go forward with that for right now, because we can get this guy. But the alternatives would be, do we want send and execute? I mean, if Adena wants to run a command which not register but something else which takes a send, maybe they would want send and execute. So the other thing we could do is add it to there. The other thing we could do is make the link be a lot smarter too. I mean, the send is, I think this would already be in the link. I bet if I click link and no, it's not. So I don't know why the link wouldn't include send in it. It probably is in this. Copy. I'm sorry if I'm wasting everybody's time here. Copy link. Yeah, it's there. So that's another weird thing. So the alternative would be for us to, to make this a little bit smarter, to include the actual values and to preserve this send, which comes in. So I don't know if Alexi or Gillum is on the call right now. So I can't get their feedback because they're kind of the Gnoweb gurus, but does anybody else have any comments? I don't know if anybody's been trying to use these, what their experience is.
Actually, I don't use it. I don't edit it in this way because Leon asked me to do it like that. But I can, of course, improve that because, as you said, we already have the completed button in the execute one, so it's already easy to just complete it.
Yeah, I think for our purposes, we would prefer the link because it goes to the keyboard and it doesn't. We don't want to intercept this thing, right? I don't think so. But I interrupted you. I mean, I could work on PR to do this maybe after this one is merged, and because I think I know how to do it because I've been staring at the code long enough to understand how it updates all these crazy things. So if that's not a bad idea, that's something we could do near term, and it would help us close the loop. Because of course we have Gnoki Mobile set up so that another mobile app, which is aware, can interact with it just as you saw. But it would be also nice to be able to, if you're running the browser on the mobile, to get something. So that's it. I think I can. Thanks for the feedback. And that's it from me.
Thank you, Jeff. The third demo for today is from Lucas. He'll be demoing the GNOME Optimistic Oracle. Take it away, Lucas.
Thank you. Once again. Okay, can you see my screen? Nice. So today I will present you my implementation of an optimistic oracle that I named Goo. So if you don't know what is an optimistic oracle, a classic oracle, in a way, you need to implement each type of data you want to get in a node that send it to the contract. And an optimistic oracle is a bit different. It didn't rely on nodes. It relies on community that propose the value requested in a question. So and it relies also with on a good tokenomics. So as you can see, here is Gnoweb interface. You have also with me if you have any questions about the implementation. And so let's go to see the demo. Firstly, I want to request the data, so I will ask a question for something. I have some buttons, but it's a little bit slow. So I have created a CLI to be faster. So with this command, you can directly request data with a question like, does Trump is Trump the new president in 2025? With the type of the response, so it can be a Boolean for yes or no, or a numeric for simple price, for example, and a deadline. So people need to respond to this request before this deadline. Otherwise, the bounty will be so the owner of the request can get back the bounty. So I can directly create the request, as you can see here. So you have all the information with this ID. And so now people want to propose a value. So you have this command. You can directly propose a value, like for this question, is Trump the president in 2025? One for yes, but we can also directly ask AI to tell us the response if you didn't know the answer and didn't want to search by yourself. So the AI will do a deep research of these questions and propose you an answer with a justification and some link so you can verify yourself. For example, in Wikipedia, yes, it's the president. Okay, nice. So I accept this value and I propose it directly in the contract. So we can see we have a proposed value. And so if this value is right, it's okay. Nobody dispute this value, and at the end of the time, this resolution time, the request will be done, and the proposer will get the bounty. But if someone think this value is not the answer, he can dispute it. So I will do it. Great. So as you can see, we have a parameter key because it can't be the person who proposed a value, the same person who disputes it. So it's a bit logical. Okay, so I have dispute this value. And so now we have also other people who need to vote who is right about the answer, the proposer or the disputer. And so the people who can vote need to have a token, a soulbound token. It's a one-time action you need to buy just to be able to vote on the oracle. And once you have the token, you can vote. Here I say 0 for no. I don't think it's the proposer is right, for example. And I have sent to the contract a hash, so not publicly the value, just an hash that I need to reveal after at the end of the voting time. Now I have set 1 minute, I think. So let's wait a bit. And in Gnoweb, if you didn't do any transactions, the chain didn't update, so I need to do a request just to update the chain. Okay. Is it good? Yes. So as you can see, the time is passed, and I have revealed my my answer correctly. So my answer was no. How it works? I have just sent, and the hash is the value of your answer and the salt. And so when you reveal your answer, you send the answer and the salt, and it will recompute the hash and verify with the hash you sent before. And at the end of the reveal time, I can directly resolve the dispute. And the winning value is no, and that's the end of the request. And so when there is a dispute, the bounty, the original bounty, goes to the people who propose the right answer and a bit to the voter. And that's it. Don't know if you have any questions. And you can see all the last 5 resolved requests here. If you have any feedback, don't hesitate. And so I have some reviews about my Oracle, but didn't have any review on the CLI. So if you want to review it, don't hesitate.
Are these always yes/no questions, or do you have the type of answer, like maybe it could be a number, like how many countries are there in the world or something?
Yes, you can. I currently handle only two type of questions. Questions that can be answered with yes or no, or a numeric value.
Mhm.
For example, what is the price of the Gnot
Mhm.
currently, and so it can be a numeric value.
Okay.
Thank you for a great demo, Lucas. That's all for the demo part. We didn't have anything announced ahead of time for the discussion part, but does anybody have anything they want to bring up now as a topic? All right, I guess we can wrap up early. Thank you all for coming, and see you on the next call. Have a good day, everybody.
See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.